Welcome to another episode of TaviRadio SatAM. I'm your host, TaviFace.
I have him at gunpoint. He has to say this.
With my co-host, the Wolfman himself, Lycan Jones.
Hey.
Welcome back.
All right, the gun's away. So, we got 3 topics that are piqued our interest this week. One topic is the state of cosplay, which I know we're gonna get like major problems with because we're not cosplayers. I cosplayed maybe 3 times in my life, and they were all very bad. But at the very least, I tried.
Someone called you Ash Ketchum when you were trying to be Ralph Jones.
To be fair, I did put on Terry's hat, so people were confused. I was also Grease from Hetalia once, and I was also a humanized version of. I'm not gonna go into my dark past. Never mind.
All around me familiar faces. But I also have some cosplay experience, as you guys may know, previous guests and sometimes featured on Mule Boy. I do have the cosplay friends. Shoutouts to them as always. But if you guys have a problem with me, at TaviFace on Twitter, let's go.
Okay.
But other than the state of cosplay, my topic of choice today will be the state of comedy on YouTube, and then
which is something we can talk about because we sort of do comedy. Well, I sort of do comedy. Tav over here, I know he actually does attempt to do comedy.
What's a comedy?
Exactly. I mean,
all my work is serious. I'm just a critic, as they say. I don't call myself Mule Boy, Mule Reviews.
Look who thinks he's the Alex Jones of food channels.
No.
Don't rip your shirt off.
But speaking of Alex Jones, our third topic will be, we put on the tin hats and we talked about our favorite conspiracy theories about people on the internet.
So, if we're gonna do 3 coin flips, and it'll be best whoever wins the coin flip tournament. So first off, we're gonna do comedy versus cosplay. So heads, because it's comedy, requires a lot of thinking, and tails because there's lots of butts in cosplay.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, and tails. Cosplay. So now cosplay versus conspiracies. Cosplay because it's still tails,
and conspiracy because you gotta wear the tin hats.
Yeah. All right, ready? Don't film me now, President Kennedy. Oh, wait. Let me do it again. Dang it. I'm no Two-Face. And show me... Tin hat. Conspiracies. We're talking about conspiracies. We saved our... Okay, to be fair, I saved myself from essentially, like, insulting an entire group, like, of people on the internet. But now I'm gonna open myself up for criticism for talking about my favorite conspiracies about one cosplayer on the internet. But I think I'll save my part after Tav's. What's your conspiracy that you're gonna talk about? What's your favorite conspiracy?
Well, now that I got the tin hat on, I got one for you right over there.
All right, I got it on. All right, we're wearing the tin hats now. You can't see it. I'll draw it in on the image, but go ahead.
So, one of my favorite shows on YouTube, a genuinely good show, not just garbage, Hot Ones, with your boy Sean Evans. Well, there's a conspiracy of Sean Evans. You might think, what is he, like a secret pedophile? Does he live a double life? What is he, Hannah Montana-like character? No, people just don't believe he doesn't eat the chicken on there, because, Hot Ones is about eating chicken wings that get hotter eventually and talking about the celebrities. But people believe that, Sean don't eat the chicken at all. He doesn't eat it at all, but only the new people say that. Like, whenever they see, like, a new episode and they're not subscribed to him, and they haven't seen the older episodes, they believe that. So, like, because it's always so trending on it, people who see it are generally never subscribers. Because, honestly, if the show got as much subscribers as it has viewers, it'd be one of the most successful channels on YouTube in general. So, people always just come in with the mindset of, like, how come we never see shots of Sean eating it?
Hold on, I swear I've seen Sean eat chicken. I just saw a new episode. I think I did see him eat chicken. What am I saying? What are people saying here?
They say, like, he doesn't really eat the chicken because they say he's too lax about it too.
Do you think maybe it's just the fact that, like,
the
focus is the fact they want to focus on the guests? Because there's more.
Would you rather see a bald Justin Timberlake eat chicken wings for, like, another episode? Or would you rather see his guest Guy Fieri eat the chicken wings?
Here's the thing. All right, I get where people are coming from, but I also think they don't understand how editing and appeal work. So let me break it down here. So are you on the side? Well, first off, let me ask you this: are you on the side of Sean doesn't eat the chicken, or Sean does eat the chicken?
I'm gonna say Sean eats the chicken because if you see the early episodes, he obviously eats the chicken.
And I agree with you because I've seen even recent episodes, and
There's a few
that man's not faking his reactions to some of those hot sauces.
Whenever you see him do his weird hand movements, it's actually him trying to focus away from this hotness.
Okay, but here's my thing. So here's I get where you're coming from, and I'm gonna explain why I think people think this. See if you agree with me. Okay, so I think people think Sean doesn't eat the chicken is from the fact the way the show is edited. So let me put it this way: you have a host, you have your host, you have a show, you have a host, and that host has their guest on there.
Yeah.
And the show is that they're being interviewed while also eating hot wings. Let me ask you this: is there, after so many episodes, is there any appeal in cutting back to the host reacting to how hot the chicken is, as opposed to cutting to the guests and seeing how they're reacting to something that they maybe don't eat all that often? I mean, if you want a successful show, because the reason you have these these guests on here, is that you want to see how they react to eating hot chicken. I mean, it's not just like I want to see Sean's hot takes on whatever project this guest is working on. No, you want to see Guy Fieri or Ethan Klein or Eric Andre eat hot chicken. You want to see them see how their tolerance for hot sauce.
See how much it destroys them, like it destroyed
If
Eric.
you're always cutting back to Sean, I mean, yeah, you can cut for Sean for like commiserate, to see how he's commiserating with these people. Just like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty hot, man, But he's also built up. I mean, he's also a hot sauce expert. He's
The man says he can't cook, but like he can handle his hot sauces.
Which is fine because
he has to do the show every week.
Exactly. So I mean, if the man has built up a tolerance, then
I would hate to see his bathroom.
I hate to see his butt. To be fair, Sean's probably built up a resistance to hot sauce. So what I think is like it's probably boring to always cut back to him. There's probably more show in cutting to whatever guest he's interviewing and seeing how they're handling all these hot sauces, especially since they're like progressively getting hotter each time.
Would you rather see Sean being all calm, or would you rather see like someone like Eric Andre just start breaking down due to how hot that sauce was?
Eric Andre's was maybe one of the best interviews I've seen because it's just the man broke a glass pitcher on his head. You could see the shards. You could see the shards of glass in his fro. So it was pretty good. That was pretty good, programming right there. I would see that on TV. This should be on TV. Why isn't Hot Ones on TV?
It should be on. It's long enough to be on TV. It's like 20. It's roughly about 20 minutes.
What channel do you think? What channel do you think this would be on? Spike, probably Spike.
Not Spike.
Comedy.
No, because
Comedy Central.
Probably have to say maybe Viceland, because here's the thing. The parent channel to Hot Ones is Complex, or Hot Ones is actually a segment on the channel just First We Feast, which is
It's its own website. So
yeah, but then Complex is also like its parent company.
I think First We Feast did a article where they rated French fries. I could be wrong on this. Don't if I'm wrong, write it. Comment below. Tell me what website it's on. I'm not going to take time.
Like in Jones' fake news confirmed.
To be fair, I'm anti-fake news. So I'm anti-Tumblr and anti-Facebook and anti-our president. Got political.
Are you anti-Alex Jones?
I will take this bullet, sir. He is the most fakest of all news. But he's the most, of all the fake news, he's the most entertaining. To be fair.
Exactly. Alex Jones, you can't go wrong with him.
Anyways. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I mean, I think it's just people don't understand editing, which is fair because I'm about to throw YouTube under a bus here. YouTube's full of a lot of dumb people who don't understand editing, and if you look at the way a lot of things on YouTube that are edited, it's just like, yeah, of course.
Even I'll take a jab into myself, where in the 20-minute long Meal Boy, I do look back at him like I could have cut down a lot of just like the nonsense.
That's what I told you too.
Yeah, we could have just made this into more of a highlight type of thing.
I'm sorry, Saber, but I'm not blaming you, Saber, because Tav here told me that you that you edited it, but I'm not blaming you.
You
were just following orders.
I held him at gunpoint.
You were just following orders, and that's fine because even the Nazis had to follow orders.
Are you calling me Hitler?
Calling you Shitler.
What I'm about to do to the office bathroom. That'll be the discussion for next podcast.
Anyways, enough of Hitler talk. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's like it just comes down to miscommunication or just a misunderstanding of the way editing works. Cause
I also think people probably think because I imagine the intense fans of the show are like me, but then people who just see what's this Guy Fieri eating hot wings about to die? Then when they see that, they're like, okay, so here's this calm, bald, Justin Timberlake looking dude, and here's Guy Fieri. How come he's not dying, but how come Guy Fieri's just burning up?
Also, I mean that's the other thing too. The Fairweather fans, or the people who are just casually stumbling upon some of these videos. I mean, the people who come to who pay attention, who come to see what's going on with these videos. It's they're not. I'm surprised they're paying less attention to the guests and more to Sean. It's just you clicked on the video because you saw Guy Fieri's swollen red face, not Sean's handsome bald head. Why are you paying attention to Sean? You clearly clicked on this video.
I bet because some of them are like, "Is this guy legit or not?"
That's weird.
Because they're probably taking an Action Bronson type approach to him. Because when during the third question of when he interviewed Action Bronson, Bronson's like, "What are you all about? What's going on?" He gave him the whole inquisitive squint. He gave Sean the inquisitive squint, which made Sean pause and stop and think.
But to be fair, though, I do think you also have to remember that people just hate watch things on YouTube. That's the other thing.
Oh, what's this Guy Fieri? Oh, what's this bald Justin Timberlake?
People will. You have to remember, people hate watch stuff. People watch it just so they could, if it's popular enough, there's always going to be a small group who are trying to break down these videos to show how bad they are. Even if they're good, even if there's production value behind them, even if there's a lot of positive positive aspects about it, there's always going to be some group that's no, here's why it's bad. Here's why.
Now, even Sean himself kind of all the guests always comment on the show's lack of production, which is honestly just a black sound room with a bunch of tables and.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Sean is a man of simple things.
Sometimes you can get away with just with Spartan visual trappings, dude. So yeah, oh wow, I mean, that's just weird, dude. I can't believe people think that, and like I said, I think it's just misunderstanding of people. I just think people don't understand how editing works.
I also think it's if people actually did the research.
I'm starting to think YouTube might be a bunch of might be made up of a bunch of Victorians or Edwardians who were discovering motion pictures for the first time. They're sitting in a dark theater and a train is coming towards the screen. It's we're all gonna die.
That'd be some Edwardian thing to discover. First thing they ever see, Guy Fieri dying on a bunch of hot wings as a bald man interviews him.
My God, the man's large, and this other balding man, he doesn't eat. I've never seen him eat. This food just disappears. Is the large man perhaps teleporting the food into himself? Oh, what's going on here? Trickery. I saw a moon landing, and the moon had a face, and this large bullet object, this capsule landed in its eye.
Rest in peace, the moon.
Yeah, the moon's been dead after Piccolo destroyed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a topic for a different time. Top 10 moon destructions. But
Majora's Mask, Majora Mask is on there.
Yeah, that's more of an Alex Jones type of topic,
All right, so
did he say the moon landing's fake? Is he one of those?
I think he probably is. If he hasn't said it before, I mean, I think he's probably.
He wants to free those lizard people from the government, though.
That's cry every press click like if you cry every time.
for every time Alex Jones tries about
the
fish people being held hostage by the government.
They're stuck in those tubes, and I can't handle it.
That's actually really good, Alex Jones.
And these people, you know, they're in there, and the little fish babies in there, and they've got their missing limbs and everything, and
I feel like
Lycan Jones, Alex Jones confirmed.
now that's a conspiracy theory in its own. Comment down below if you want us to discuss that topic.
You know,
next time.
Some people have thought that that. Some people have accused me or have speculated that I might be either homemade coon or maybe like a reincarnation of Three Lane.
Or people always say a red sun.
I can't be. No, I'm not Pilot Red Sun. Have you? Once upon a time there was a conspiracy theory or speculation that Pilot Red Sun was just C Boyardee reincarnated or resurfaced.
Didn't you know C Boyardee? I
had a college friend who went to class with C Boyardee, and it was, in retrospect, to realize what a disturbing thing that was, because that means like that C Boyardee was in the same city as I was and was going to school at that time.
Are you two? Would you say you two are the same age, or do you think he's older?
I don't know. My old friend was my age. We were around, I think, 21 at the time. So we're getting closer to figuring out my real age.
Well, this was back in the 1800s, Victorian era.
Yeah. Oh, YouTube was barely being invented by the Lumiere brothers, you know. Yeah, this is before Edison tried to like copyright it and create Vimeo. Oh. Anyway, so that's cool. I didn't know people thought that, which is funny because so your topic actually, your conspiracy theory, actually brings up my conspiracy theory, which is gonna get a lot of rage in the comments, I think, because I'm gonna take down cosplay royalty right here and now.
Someone has to usurp the kingdom eventually.
Yeah. But anyways, what you're talking about how the way the show is edited makes it look like Sean doesn't eat the chicken, brings up my conspiracy theory, which are all the numerous conspiracy theories revolving around Jessica Negri, which ranges from anywhere from like, what the hell is she doing with all her money? Because the quality of her cosplays like don't match up with how much money she earns.
Can I just snowball one conspiracy theory now?
Yeah.
Where's Jessica Negri located? Texas? So that's where they
Arizona.
Arizona? And she likes to hang out with the Rooster Teeth boys. Okay.
You think her money? She's giving all her money to Rooster Teeth?
No. You know who's also in Texas?
Arizona. She's in Arizona.
You know who's also near Texas? Well, Arizona's right next to Texas. Okay.
It's next to New Mexico, and then after New Mexico is Texas. She's a state away from Texas.
Okay, but she still hangs out with those Rooster Teeth boys all the time.
Yeah.
So she goes to Texas often.
Yeah.
What happens between Texas and Arizona that isn't New Mexico either?
Meth? Breaking Bad?
Other than that,
is she spending money on Better Call Saul?
I think she's giving her money to Alex Jones, because Alex Jones is also in Texas. And that's to the Rooster Teeth boys.
That's a really weird. Okay, you realize that you just spawned a new conspiracy. You've connected. What you're saying is that Alex Jones is connected to Rooster Teeth and Jessica Negri.
Yeah. Because they both live in this. Because Alex Jones filmed in the same city. InfoWars is filmed in the same city.
I don't know how we feel about that, but if this catches on, I want to see the speculation that people come up with. No, but my conspiracies, all the conspiracy and speculation that I've encountered on the internet have essentially changed my view on Jessica Negri. I mean, I used to just think like, oh, she's a pretty cool cosplayer. I mean, she seems pretty successful. She seems like she cares about her fans and everything. Of course, a lot of that has been shown that she kind of doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I'm very on the fence about whether or not Jessica Negri's like a decent public person, based on the aquarium fiasco and I work so like you'll never understand. But being a convention guest is so hard versus all the other cosplayers who are almost, if not as the same level of popular as she is, and having to deal and like work probably more hard than she is.
Here's the thing.
Or harder than she does.
She can't just say, like, you don't understand, being, like, the guest at the convention, being, like, a main thing.
I needed a break. I couldn't deal with all those fans on the last day. I had to go to aquarium.
Yeah,
don't visit me at the aquarium, by the way.
Don't visit me at the aquarium, by the way. Pulls out a gun in her Instagram photo. Don't visit me.
She's holding sea turtles hostage. She's a demon.
She's a demon.
No, okay.
This just new conspiracy theory. Just the Negri is actually Linda Blair.
I'll not deal with candidate Linda Blair. No, real talk though. So the real conspiracies that I've seen a lot. I mean, the first one's obviously whether or not Jessica Negri's boobs are real.
You broke it down for me as an artist.
I broke it down. Like a lot of people have like it's so funny because like this whether or not like to me it's just so funny that people would focus so much on whether or not her breasts are natural or augmented.
Someone say, well, someone say, who cares?
Yeah, that's fine because like you shouldn't care whether or not they're real because you're still gonna like look at them and probably fap to them.
Probably gonna have a good nut.
Yeah, so to be.
But will it be your proudest nut? We'll determine that.
You know, it doesn't matter if they're real or fake, but I just think it's funny that like people will dig up and then do like real like why aren't you like real investigations, like why aren't you working for the FBI? Why aren't you using your abilities of investigation to like track down like, you know, child slavery rings? And not just going into like pizza places to shoot him up because you think Hillary's running there. I'm blaming you, Alex. Oh, by the way, he apologized for that.
Which one?
What happened at the pizza place where some guy went in with like a gun and said like, "Where's the child sex ring? Where's Hillary's child sex ring?" And, yeah, that was a real thing, and that almost turned into an ugly situation where someone might have been killed. And Alex Jones, months later, was just like, "I'm very sorry that happened. I apologize. I didn't realize I was hurting people." He didn't say that. I don't think he said, but he apologized, but maybe not in those words. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, there's like people have taken like pictures of like early pictures of Jessica Negri and like some like early photo shoots where she was like in a swimsuit, or even some early cosplays, and it's just like, yeah, okay, so she looks a little flatter there. Okay, I can see that, and then combined with the fact that Negri also explains away that the way she's able to get her maximum cleavage, it comes from a combination of multiple push-up bras and contouring and some other like tricks that girls use to make to like augment their physique, which is fine. You know, it's like, okay, that's a thing. I mean, if you're doing a cosplay, you want to make sure your costume is accurate and looks the best you look. I mean, if you're gonna put makeup on your face, you're probably gonna put makeup on other parts of your body to like accentuate and make your cosplay look awesome. You know. As
for example, in the Meal Boy Japanese cuisine, when we had Klepto from the cosplay guys, Cat and Rabbit, they actually did contort his abs, but sadly, you know, he barely got any screen time. Rest in peace, Boo Boo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But like I was saying.
They spent a good 20 minutes in the bathroom doing that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of guy cosplayers probably do, like, accentuate their abs to, like, make them look harder, you know? I mean, you want to look good, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just think it's funny that, like, they're, like, putting side-by-side pictures. Just like, here's a picture of Negri circa 2000-something. Here's a picture of her, like, a few years later. Look how huge she is. And for a while, I was always on the fence of like, come on. I mean, like, you can't really tell because she's never really worn a real bikini top, so I can't really see what they look like. I mean, everything she's worn looks just like she's probably using a really good push-up bra or like multiple push-up bras. So who cares? But then as she started to like branch out and like show more boob. I realized, like people started pointing out the fact, and I guess I was also realizing it because that's, I mean, you could tell I was trying to say that. Like, wait a minute, they're too perky and too large, and like just too perfect looking, and like to retain their shape like that. And you know, obviously, a normal person would just say, "Who cares? whatever. They're
just like let's use Jog for example. I mean, anytime I bring up Nidreen, like some of the stuff some of her shenanigans to him, she's always like, I don't care, I just want to have a good nut. She hot.
Which is fine. Which is fine because like which is fine, but like
nothing against Jog.
I'll talk about the money conspiracies after I'm done with the boob conspiracy. But anyways, I say in regards to the boob conspiracy, they just looked at it and thought, like, wait a minute, her like after she started showing off more skin, less I guess less cleavage and more actual again more just more boobage. When she started showing more of more of her actual breasts in some of her cosplay, it looks like they look too big to like have grown in that amount of time, and people have also done like some, I guess, other side like to defend the amount of growth they've had. They've looked up stories of whether or not you can women's breasts will grow after like what is considered the peak of like physical maturity, and yeah, there's some stories. I mean, there are things there, so that's fair. So there are points to the other side, but then people have just started noticing that, like, yeah, her boobs kind of don't work the way they should, because there are more bikini pictures. I mean, I know, it's very clear that maybe some of the, some of the push-up action happening in some of these bikinis are, like, probably the result of her buying a smaller size, which is a new trend in a lot of, like, lewd and, like, the lewd cosplay community. There's like the whole, or even just like a lot of lewd and softcore like pornography is just like buying a bikini top that's too small, which I think comes out of anime.
Our favorite cosplayer is a huge offender to that one.
Oh yeah, she's a huge offender, and she also wears them upside down.
What an idiot.
Well, to be fair, she has been buying. Well, not to be fair. This is, I mean, you have to remember she's also gone an extra step and bought lingerie bottoms for her Sailor Moon cosplays, where she wears them backwards, because according to her, it doesn't matter how bunched up they are in front. She just likes that the bows are in front. She thinks that the bows look better, and that's any real Sailor Moon fan could tell you that no, they don't look better. They're supposed to go in the back. You're botching Sailor Moon, and you're making like you look like you have like a huge bulge in front. What
if that's the truth?
Or what if? No, it's not, because we've seen how. I'm not gonna talk. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this.
Next time.
Okay, so, like I said, with Negro, it's just people have there's just a rampant speculation, and for the longest time, I myself was just like, who cares? But then it keeps popping up a lot, and I don't know why I keep going to these parts of the internet. I'm just a glutton for punishment, and sometimes you have to expose yourself to the gross side of the internet to remind yourself. I mean, that's how horrible the world is. I
mean, Alex Jones does the same thing. There's actually a funny story about him.
We've been talking a lot about Alex Jones this episode.
Well, it's a conspiracy theory episode. Whenever I think of conspiracy theory, think about our leading conspiracy theorist in the country, Alex Jones.
All right. So what did he do this time?
So every year, he smokes one J.
Oh, I know about this. To make sure that it's as powerful, that they're as powerful as they are, right? To see how powerful marijuana
But he
has
does
gone.
it once a year. It's his yearly tradition.
And according to him, the FBI does it. So there.
If the FBI does it, then I can do it.
I'm not gonna do another Alex Jones impression.
You do it too well.
I know.
Like you're the actual guy.
I'm not. I lost my daughter. I blame the internet. They made me into a meme. Memes can't have children. They took her away from me.
And right now he's fighting the Young Turks. The Young Turks telling him fat one time, and he's like, wait a minute. Aren't you guys all about body positivity? Or one of them mentioned that they're all about body positivity, but it was them who made the comment about Alex Jones, you're fat. So hey, Alex Jones.
Wait, hold on a second. Last episode, you were fat shaming Angry Joe and Darkside Phil for that, though.
Yeah, I mean.
Wait, can't fat people shame other fat people?
We do it all the time to each other.
But is it good-natured ribbing, or is it like, no, you're fatter than me, so I have a moral high ground?
No, it's more like just the whole remember, give what you can take. If I people in the comments always call me fat, you know, it doesn't matter. But if
I've read your comments. No one's ever said that. They've called you a cuck before, but never fat. Okay, maybe one guy. Oh, never mind.
There's a few.
There's a few, but it's always
it's always the passerby.
Yeah, which is fine because it's like I don't care.
Yeah, he shows up once, but yeah, like I was saying. Either way, Alex Jones has the Young Turks by the balls. I still need to see that Grand Slam finale of the soccer.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, like I said, for like the longest time, I was pretty much like on the side of like I don't care, but just being exposed to it so much because I do hang out or not hang out, but I do lurk in the gross side of the internet a lot, and mostly it's just because I want to see how bad it's getting. It exactly as you said, like the way. Like how Alex Jones smokes 1J every year to see how horrible it is. I go like maybe 2 or 3 times a week on the butthole side of the internet, to see just to remind myself how horrible it is. So I could find positivity in other places, but it's kind of hard because it's like sometimes you need that reality check of like, God, there are awful people here, but sometimes
it's going the good old 4chan to check it out.
No, I'm talking about Kiwi Farms and lolcow, man.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know.
Any 9gag for you or no?
No, 9gag's too powerful. At that point, that'd be like if Alex Jones did a dab.
Has he ever done that?
No, I don't think so. I think he just sticks.
Get on it, Alex. All he does is rip his shirt off and spoil his swole body.
Yeah.
I can't call Alex Jones fat. He's too swole.
Yeah, he's I think he's in that fine line between swole and fat.
He's swole fat. Anyways,
so yeah, I mean, I was on that side, and then I guess after being exposed to too many things regarding to the side of like, no, they fake, as well as because I draw and I do have to look at anatomical references. I mean, and it doesn't show in my artwork, but I do try to look at some references for anatomy, and of course, if I have to look at male anatomy, which I do a lot for recreational reasons as well as professional ones. I do have to look at female anatomy sometimes, even if I don't show off any hot females in my anime, and most of them are pretty modestly dressed. To be fair, I do have to look at female anatomy, and
the only females you've drawn so far is Lucy.
Yeah, she was pretty hot.
And
I
then,
guess Mrs. M.
Yeah, Mrs. M.
And also Sally Brown.
Yeah, no, you haven't drawn Sally yet, but you also forgot Garfield's draw.
Yeah, so I've drawn like maybe
Charlene, right? Is that the name of Garfield?
Arlene.
Arlene, my bad.
You're a few letters off. No, so I do have to draw. I do have to draw and look up at the way female anatomy works. So I have to look up how hips work and obviously how boobs work. So in looking up how boobs work, I've had to look up at other tutorials and see how they work. I have obviously had to look at some nude examples. And it's funny. So looking at some tutorials by other by some arrow artists, like erotic art, they've explained to me the way the way their physicality works, like how they work inside bras, how they work without bras, and by looking at that and also just looking at because porn is also a thing, looking at how implants work too, it's just like wait a minute, those they pretty fake, and especially with one of her newest lewds that she did with another cosplayer where they wore the Virgin Killer sweater. A real there's a picture in there where she's showing a lot of side boobage, and it's just like wait a minute, they're too perfect to have any real to have any real sag. Wait a minute, they is fake. I mean, I could still be wrong. I could still be wrong all along, but I mean,
Justin Needler's just been growing. Every time she eats,
it goes to her breasts, just like how. Nah, I'm kidding. Noodles never said that. Anyways, so there's that, and I mean, there are times where I feel deep shame for even contributing, or not contributing, but even thinking about that speculation, and thinking about another person's body and what they do to it and what size it is, and it's just ugh, I feel so dirty and awful about this.
Are her measurements out there though? Anyway,
not. I don't know. I don't know if they are. A lot of people say they are. I've seen some examples of it, and
Examples in quotations.
And it's just like I don't believe anything that's like, unless she released it herself. But that goes into the other conspiracy, which is what is Negri doing with all of her money, and also why she always lie.
Yeah, where is all that money going?
So the other two ones which are tied together is the speculation that Jessica Negri is a liar and Jessica Negri is hoarding her money.
Where's the
Comes
money
from the fact that like a lot of her most recent cosplays have not been really that good. But a lot of defenders would say, well, she's probably just like saving up her funds or whatever. She's probably putting more effort into her big cool cosplays like the Sindra Grossa cosplay or the Reinhardt cosplay she did this year. So in the meantime, because she's got to like, you know,
But $50K a month from Patreon is more than enough to make a good.
Which is, I mean, but you have to also remember that's a lot of people, and if that's a lot of people, she has to send out all those like, instant pictures and like high res. Like, there's a lot of people she's got to please.
She just takes a photo. She just forwards it to all those guys' emails. I don't know how.
No, but there's also physical things she's got to send out, like those instant photos. Which for a long time I thought like, wow, she works hard. She has to do that. But then there's also the fact that like a lot of her like lewd cosplays or even like boudoir pics are just like really like are like really cheap and also really what's the word I'm looking for?
Poorly put together.
Yeah, I mean they're just really cheap. There's no other word for it, I guess.
Your biggest example and offender to this is the McCree cosplay.
Okay, first off, that's not a boudoir pic, and I'll get to that in a second.
It's a cheap cosplay.
It is a cheap cosplay, but I'm talking about just like her regular boudoir things, which are like, okay, she's got a fur. I mean, there's some of it which isn't offensive, which is like the one where like some of her winter ones where she was in the snow and she had to wear like a fur coat and some like frilly lingerie. It's like, okay, fine, you probably spent a few $100s on those things. That's fine.
But was the fur coat real? That's another conspiracy. Did she kill an animal for it?
I don't think that's a valid question.
Who is the animal, Jessica?
Yeah, some of her cosplays just look cheap. A lot of people have pointed out that they look cheap. I honestly can't tell if a wig looks good or bad sometimes because I mean if it's bad if it's I know if a wig looks bad if it's like looks like it's been bought from a Party City place, but some people have pointed out that like she's not really trying with a lot of her cosplays, or she maybe styles one wig and then puts on like some prop that vaguely looks like something that belongs to that character, and then puts on underwear and that's it.
You said it best. The McCree cosplay is just some chaps, a bra, and a Woody hat from like
and don't forget the black a black leotard with fishnets. Because, you know, Femme McCree would totally wear it. And yes, kidding. I can't even finish that sentence. I'm not going to let... I've seen other, like, sexy versions of McCree, female and male.
I mean, McCree's already a fashion icon. Look at him.
He's pretty... honestly, like, that pose where he's got his hands on his hips are pretty sassy. I mean, just, like, that's... I mean...
McCree.
I mean, having sex with McCree isn't gay. It's smart. I mean, look how beautiful he is. How can you not? It's a smart thinking, you know?
I mean,
it's smart. You have to agree with me.
I wouldn't have sex with a guy, but, you know, I'd at least be like...
It's not gay. It's smart. You have a chance to be with an Adonis, with a beautiful grizzled Western Greek god. You got to take a chance, man or female, man. Whatever. I guess I'm alone on this.
No, you probably have your circle.
Yeah. Okay. But like I said, I mean, there's a lot of like really good fan art of like Femme McCree in like a sexy version of his outfit that makes more sense to that character. And Jessica Negri just put on like a leotard, fishnets, some chaps, and then like what looks like a plastic Woody hat from Michaels, you know, and just spray painted so it looks all worn out. It's a really bad cosplay. And again, like her fans are like, well, where's that $50K, Jessica? Like, what the heck? you're making.
Can we get a bank statement from her?
That's the other thing, because so now she's trying to hide how much she makes, and she's also doubled back on a lot of her sponsors. Like she's in some Reddit forums or discussions, she said, "Oh, I'm sponsored by these people," and then in that same discussion, she's like, "I never said that," and then people have screen caps. It's like, "Yo, you did."
So, I'm not sponsored by Crunchyroll, but I love Crunchyroll.
That's the thing, because it's like part of what fuels this conspiracy as to like what she's doing with her money. Why is the fact that she doubles back on a lot of things she says. You know, people have a hard time trusting her because a lot of times she doesn't say what she's saying. You know, and it's kind of unfortunate because it's like,
hasn't she actually publicly lost some sponsors as to what she says sometimes?
I haven't heard that part yet. That might be true.
I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah,
don't quote me on that one.
Quote him on that one.
Don't quote me on that one.
Quote him on that. Blast him. Flame him. Tweet at him. Tell him that he's a fat liar. What's he doing with his meager sum of YouTube money?
Trying to get Crunchyroll to sponsor me. Come on, Crunchyroll. I like anime.
Why don't you
give me the?
Why don't you get Loot Crate?
Because I don't believe in boxes.
Why don't you get Samurai Buyer? Anyways, back on topic. So Nigri lies a lot.
The money's somewhere buried in New Mexico.
Okay, so which leads me to the whole so back to the money thing. So if she's not spending her money on quality cosplays, or she is spending her money but slowly building up something big, because the way Nigri works is that she does one big cosplay and then a bunch of lazy ones, or not lazy ones, but like simpler ones. But to be fair, there is some lazy ones coming up, like her casual tracer that she's taken to a convention, because she's first off she's gonna ruin some Yuri on Ice characters. I'm sorry. My favorite gay anime, and she's gonna ruin it by making a sexy girl version of Yuri.
Why?
Because she's a bandwagoner too.
Where's her JoJo cosplays? You can't sexify that. That's already too sexy.
What if she does a sexy Jotaro with all this cleavage? That's not man cleavage. That's not pectoral muscle cleavage.
I tell her.
Hey, to be fair, at SAC Anime, there was a girl who was doing Girl Dio.
Yeah, but Girl Dio's okay. Dio's already Dio.
I do miss that. I do miss. I don't know if the trade-off between bulge to cleavage was a justified trade-off, but she did a pretty good job, and she looked cool.
But like talking about part 2 characters or part 1 characters, you can sexify them all you want. You can't. They're already there.
Yeah. The Mayan gods of fitness. Anyways, so her lying and the fact that her cosplays don't look like the money's going into her cosplays or any immediate cosplays has also made people speculate that either the money's going to all the various plastic surgeries that she's spending it on.
Or is she trying to become the perfect human?
When are the nanomachines coming in?
No. I mean, like, she's trying to get the stone mask right now, trying to get the red stone of Asia. That's where all the money's going to. Research and discovery for those things. She's trying to become a pillar woman.
My gosh.
That's it. We figured it out. We cracked the case.
And if it's not that, people, because, like, you could do the numbers and say, like, okay, if you have the realistic numbers, she did buy a house recently, which is huge. It looks like she bought a McMansion. I mean, it might be smaller than that. I might just be exaggerating, but if she bought a McMansion with, like, a pool and everything, she's probably making payments of that house. But, 50, like the thousands of bucks that she make probably don't all go to that house.
How come you can get $50K, but my boy Boris can only get $2K?
Yeah, and Boris does contribute more. Like, he makes real cooking videos. I mean, if Nigri was making quality cooking videos for Russian cuisine or Slavic European country cuisine, I would have. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But she's not.
No, but she's not doing anything. What's Boris doing? Out there working.
That's the other thing. So the laziness of her cosplays, plus the amount of money is just like, where's the money going? Okay, here's what I think. I think maybe a lot of that money probably goes to how much shipping she has to spend to send out all those, like, instant pictures. But at the same time, I don't think that would constitute, like, all of the money she makes off of Patreon.
It wouldn't be that much to just send out a bunch of instant pictures.
Yeah.
One big bulk order.
Well, to be fair, she has to mail out to multiple people.
Yeah.
And
At this point, I bet she has a stamp with her like name and address stuff. Like she's just
probably. But there's that, and then other people have just speculated like is probably nest egging it. You know, she's probably just making all this money off of Patreon now, getting as far as her looks will get her and her cosplays will get her before the cosplay bubble bursts, which probably feels soon. At least for like the sexy Patreon cosplay bubble is going to burst soon. I think there's too many. If we were talking about cosplay, this would have been definitely in the conversation. But anyway.
I feel like some of them won't go out, but like the ones that are like new will just have to fade away.
Oh yeah, I think the ones that are well established will stay. The ones who do quality cosplays like Yaya Han will probably stay. She's still pretty good.
I know Uni will stay. Well, granted, she's fully aware of what she is. She does soft porn like boudoir.
Yeah.
So she's gonna stay for sure.
But as long as
most of the fact who also provides for her too.
Yeah. Anyways, there's that, and
the
there's
boys
also,
take care of her.
Yeah. But they think she's probably nest egging it because I mean, a long time ago she did say that after all, eventually she was gonna retire from cosplay and get a job in marketing. So who knows? Who's to say that the money that she's saving up from all from her Patreon isn't going
what type of business would she have?
Probably cosplay. Probably modeling agency. I don't know.
House of Chicken and Waffles. That turns into a telecommunications.
No. Chilean donuts.
Chilean donuts?
Roscoe's Chilean donuts. Can I get extra hot sauce on my donut? It's a Black Dynamite reference, you weebs.
They would know. Don't swim.
Do you think you're... No, I'm talking about the movie.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't know. They're not cool. They're not cool like me.
Sam L was...
I went to college!
So do most of the people. The demographic of the channel is mostly people my age range, and younger. It jumps from people not in their teens to like 12 to 13-year-olds, then to like 18 to 21.
I think your content's too highbrow for 13-year-olds, Tav.
I think my content's too highbrow for a bunch of angsty teenagers. I don't like it.
On the other hand, I do like some of the community college theses that have been written about your channel, though. Those are pretty good.
My favorite one is someone saying that it's absurdist humor.
Yeah, which is, I would say is true. You just throw caution to the wind and just like, I don't care anymore. God left. Here's the way I see it. Your channel is very clearly exists in a dimension where God left. And it's kind of like how in Fist of the Dwarfs after Garfield died and all these warlords showed up, specifically Nermal and Heathcliff, and used this corpse part to augment themselves to try to create a new Garfield style dictatorship. But obviously it failed because Calvin was working for Lord Garfield. Calvin was his Poochie.
Calvin made in heaven.
Hobbs a heaven stand? No, Hobbs is not a heaven stand because Calvin wouldn't have gotten his ass kicked so hard by. But
Poochie got wrecked by Emporio. Spoiler.
Oh, I'm sorry for. Okay,
I'm sorry for people who have not read a manga that's been out for over 10 years, 5 years now in America. Translated, that is.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean that's all I have to say about Negri. There's a lot of her conspiracies just are rampantly around like, where's the money going? Is them boobs real? Are you getting butt implants now?
Find out next time.
Actually, that's the newest. That's the newest speculation. Is Negri gonna get butt implants?
Oh, she's Kardashian herself then.
Maybe. Well, it's because a lot of people criticize the way her butt looks. I honestly don't care.
I don't get it.
Well, because people saying her, she acts like, because thick is the new thing. You know how like twerking was a thing for a few years ago, and then like now.
If that's the new thing,
thick is a new. Thick is not
a new thing. Then I'm in the bright business.
Yeah, but like she wants to be like when people say thick, they're just not like thick up there, thick down there. She wants her.
They're already in the business.
Yeah, so she wants to be thick. Is what people are speculating because people have launched a lot of criticisms at the quality of her butt because all the rampant Photoshop. If you want to talk about rampant Photoshopping, Negri's also an offender, but I think her Photoshopping is more like, well, it's not any different from the Photoshopping that happens on like magazines or anything. I mean, come on.
I mean,
Nobody looks like that in real life.
It has to be done, apparently.
It doesn't have to be done, but I mean, some things can be done to make it look nicer. As if, you could clean up and make a picture look nicer, but you don't have to like alter another human being's physique.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
anyway, so that's the current conspiracy is that the money is maybe going to newer surgeries. It also explains why, because it's funny because for a long time I thought like Jessica Negri doesn't have implants. I mean, she works so hard. When would she have time? When would she have downtime? And then it turns out she has a lot of downtime.
She has way too much downtime.
In fact, I think she's admitted herself that she has a lot of free time.
What are you doing, Negri?
Playing video games. Oh, wait. I don't know if that's true anymore either.
You don't play video games. Everybody knows girls don't play video games.
Shots fired. Tabby Face is now part of Gamergate.
Hashtag Gamergate. Let's bring it back, boys.
We're not talking about Gamergate. It's just that's
dead. That's a dead meme.
It's a dead meme, but it's also just a shit show. I mean, nobody who's on this like people.
A while ago, you explained to me Gamergate, and it took you 2 hours.
Yeah, I did. I mean, long story short, nobody who's fighting for ethics in game journalism spends their time doxing women.
I mean, I still have a thing about Kotaku.
I've seen Kotaku getting better.
My war on Kotaku will never end.
I guess then you and I are fundamentally opposed then.
No, mostly because anytime they cover like anything related to like FGC stuff, they just get it all wrong.
Okay, their FGC stuff is garbage.
It is because like they're like new fighting game. Something looks like garbage to me. You're like, but just the trailer came out.
But at the same time, like they do a pretty good job of covering like Blizzard stuff.
That's easy because Blizzard already gives them all the news. You
hear about you hear about Armada? About the new story we're covering. I guess Armada quit.
He's had enough. Yeah.
Tell me, he's one of the 5 Smash gods. Who are the other 4?
Mewtwo King. I might be Mewtwo King.
We're gonna have to say this for another.
Leffen.
All right, this is going to the extra credits. So those are our conspiracy theories. I
think you're almost right about the Negri ones.
That's the thing, because like
I want to believe the Negri ones.
The Negri ones have a lot of it, but at the same time, like I think too much of it comes from a lot of like salty cosplayers who are mad at the floodgates that Negri opened with all of the sexy cosplayers that she's inspired.
Or it could be a lot of white knights that turned in their fedoras.
That's the thing, because like
for bigger fedoras.
That's the thing, because like a lot of her poor business practices are evident, and I think the speculation about her body is just kind of like mean. And like I said, I feel bad for even like engaging and stuff like that, but it's like
has to be said.
That's the thing, because like there are times where I have to stop myself and think like, am I a bad person for this? I mean, unless like Negri was fully exposed for like completely fleecing a bunch of people, but at the same time, like some of the people that she is accused of fleecing are like awful in themselves. So it's just like, as long as there's this whirlpool of awful people destroying each other, I'm okay with it. So they can just exist on the side,
and all the good people come out.
But it's just like, at the same time, it's like I don't think people like Rooster Teeth would be friends with someone like Negri if they knew what she was doing was awful.
Remember when Rooster Teeth ate Surotech?
Remember when? That's why I believe in Meg 64. They're the last bastions against Rooster Teeth.
But here's the thing, man.
I used to love you, but you quit on us with Red vs. Blue.
Now only Mego 64 lies. Well, you already killed them off.
What have I done? I gotta go back. All right, this podcast is over. I'm gonna go back in time and save Mega 64. I'm gonna stop him from being crushed by Hagrid.
Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Smash the like, or just kind of give it a like.
And press like or comment if for that popping lemon.
Don't smash the dislike. Filipinos already pressed the dislike button.